One of the first things I learned, I mean, naturally when you look at the environment, first you look at what's hitting you right in the face now, and you think it's a local problem. Then you expand and you went, ooh, it's a national problem. And then you realize it's not. It's a global problem. It's a planet problem, which sounds kind of airy-fairy to say, but not anymore. It's really true. I mean, you cannot separate what we do in this country because it affects what happens in other countries. What we consume, what we waste affects the rest of the world. When a forest is cut down in another country around the world, it affects us. It affects all of us. So when you see Lucian here riding by your mall and you can't quite figure out why, run out, give him some money, and then ask yourself how you can become involved at whatever level at finding solutions and taking some kind of action to make where you live, a better place environmentally, because it will have an effect around the world. I mean, we really have to start thinking as a planet and not selfishly as individuals or cities or states or countries. We must start thinking as human beings and how we can all contribute to making this, someplace that we want to pass on to our children.
What is going to be the success of this program, you think? What is going to really draw the people in to care?
Well, I think the first thing that draws people in is the idea of a rider and a horse going across country this way, that appeals to people's sense of the West and of romanticism of the American image, American landscape. Ultimately, what we want to see happening is that people, as they become involved with the event, will learn something about tropical rainforest and the fact they're being destroyed at an alarming rate, and that it's man-made, it can be stopped. We've got some choices to make in the next 10 years that deal with the future of the Earth, and one of those is to stop the destruction of the rainforest. Another is to cut down on the use of fossil fuels, which contribute to global warming, and which is bringing about, or could bring about, worldwide climatic change. So I think the message we'd like to get across is that American people have a responsibility to deal with this question, and they have a way of changing things so that society can have a future. If we don't begin to change the way we live and use energy and use our resources, future generations will not be able to live on this planet. And that's the challenge, is how do we get that across to people without either scaring them to death or making them think they can do nothing about it? They clearly can. There are choices to be made, and people can make a difference.
That's a pretty positive outlook for what seems to be a dismal situation. If the one person does finally get across, it does get across to them, I can make a difference, what's the first thing they need to do?
I think the first thing they need to do is to look around their home and find out what they're doing that contributes to these problems. If they're buying tropical hardwoods, teak, mahogany, they're probably contributing to the destruction of rainforest. If they're using certain kinds of products which have CFCs in them, these are special molecules which destroy the atmosphere, they're contributing to global warming. If they're driving a car that's not fuel efficient, they're burning up fossil fuels which contribute to global warming. Consumers have a role in all this, and our cumulative experiences contribute directly to global warming. So people can have a difference. They might think that it's so small it doesn't matter. Over time, it matters. Another example is that we could make our factories more efficient. The Japanese have a very energy efficient operation. We lose about $200 billion a year in energy costs because we're not as efficient as the Japanese. That amount of money could pay off the entire federal deficit in a very short period of time.
Yeah, you're real good.
Yeah, I got it. Nerves are too long. I gave a picture of me doing posters, and this hurts bad.
You'll be on highway probably sometimes, won't you?
You know, as little as possible.
Little
There's
as
that berm
possible.
that goes up along in the Midwest on the right-hand side. Parallel fences will stay on the inside.
There's no other way, really, that I could think of that we could get a lot of Americans involved at a grassroots level. You know, that each American could get involved in becoming aware about the environment, other than riding a horse across the United States over a very long, consistent, difficult route. And I think that by going through a population of 100 million people, which is what we're trying to do here, we'll probably hit one out of every 2 people in doing that. And I think that's a very good way of getting people involved in the event. The other reason that I thought the event would be very good from that standpoint is because it's an opportunity for each and every person to get involved in terms of contributing to the environment. You know, there's an opportunity there to give money to the environment or contribute, assist along the route and those kind of things. We wanted to pull the route together. It's a group effort any way you cut this thing. I just see this as an opportunity to bring the awareness level up so other people who have other ideas, like Ted said, you know, look at what you're doing locally, you know, look at your backyard and see what there is that you can do to make your local area nicer, because the impact in your area is going to be felt somewhere else. So, you know, I don't see it as any real, you know, driving force to make other things happen, but I think it will be a catalyst that will make other things happen over a period of time by just generating or increasing the interest level.
The projections are that tropical rainforests will be destroyed by the year 2050. Essentially what that means is we're the last generation on Earth that's going to have a chance to save the rainforests. We have to get the job done now, and that's going to take involving all sectors of society. This ride across America is designed to get everybody involved and be a part of the solution.
As the last generation, that's kind of a strong statement. That means our kids, as they get older, wouldn't live to, they wouldn't be there for them to see it anymore. It kind of hits home pretty hard.
The tropical rainforest once occupied 14% of the land mass of the planet. Now they occupy less than 7%. 50% are already gone. Most of that destruction has been since World War II. That's the rate of acceleration that we have to confront. So we simply have to act now on this.